Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Astara and I'm an angelic communicator and clairvoyant. And I want to talk to you today about something that I'm continually asked about on the twin flame journey. And this is what comes up in workshops that I do and also twin flame clarity sessions. So let's just explore it. And this is the question that comes up is, do I need to stay celibate for my twin flame to come into union with me? Now, it's a kind of funny thing that that I have to answer this question, but let's explore it and I'll give you a viewpoint of what I heard from the Angelic Council of Light when I asked this on behalf of other people. This is not a question that I necessarily had to ask, but other people are asking it, so let's just explore into it. Now, this is a kind of tender and important topic, and it also touches on desire and purity, maybe, and spiritual alignment, and also maybe tantra, like how people feel about their bodies. There might be also a very deep longing on this path to have a need met on an intimacy level. Let's walk through this together because I get the feeling that lots of people have very, very different ideas about how they use their body with intimacy, and that's fine. There is no judgment here. But how you choose to use your body in an intimate way might have an impact on you, maybe emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So let's kind of lay this out on the table and have a look. Many twin flames feel that their physical and sexual energy may only belong to their counterpart. Now, if that is your truth, then that's fine. You probably need to stop the video here and not bother watching anymore. Now, this is because often people come into contact with their twin and they have a real activation, they have a real Kundalini experience, a real Kundalini awakening, a Kundalini activation. And this connection can be so profound that it feels kind of sacred. And some people might kind of feel like if I'm not having that kind of sacred form of love and my body is part of that loving process and devotional work, then I don't really want to try and have a lesser kind of experience with someone else. And that is fine. That is kind of probably where some of the twins are at. But others may wonder if they're going to be in separation for a long time, which is totally understandable from their twin, then maybe they would like to get their needs met in other relationships, in other forms, particularly if their twin is particularly tricky and they're taking a long time to transform and to come back into union. So this is a natural question, isn't it? That some people view the use of their body as devotional practice, and some people may just need, that kind of regular intimacy with someone just to feel good about themselves. So I would just stress on this that if you are looking for intimacy with someone else who's not your twin flame, then you might kind of feel like it's a little bit off. It's a little bit kind of lacking in a quality that you're looking for. And it's going to be a hard question, isn't it? Like, well, do I abstain for a long time, waiting for my twin to come in, if ever? Or do I just follow my life and see what comes up? And this is also kind of bringing in the idea of twin flames who are already in relationships with other people. Because I know a lot of twins who are in marriages, or they're twins in a marriage, or they're in a marriage, or both of them in a marriage. And it kind of would be unfair to have to wait, in abstinence for somebody who you don't know if is going to transform or come in, or maybe you've been given a date like 10 years in the future. And that's a long time, isn't it? The truth is here that the twin flame journey is not about an external set of rules being given to you. It isn't about withholding or punishing yourself or living in fear of making a mistake so that you can't come into union. This is not what it's about. This is about a kind of process of realigning yourself with your own sensitivity, your own awareness, your own needs, your own desires, your own soul level knowing about what it feels right for you. This is really a journey about coming into wholeness with yourself and embodying unconditional love. So your twin is not drawn to you because you've been celibate, just so you know. Maybe they don't even care. I'm not even sure. Although I have been shown a few things in these alignment processes, which indicates to me that sometimes there is a period of abstinence before you come into union, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary. But I do think that there is a clearing out of the energy bodies in preparation to receive your twin. Also, your twin is drawn to you because of your soul frequency and because it's harmonizing and because both of you are ready to meet each other in truth. And that being all said, sexual energy is incredibly powerful. It's a creative force, a tantric force. It is life force. And when shared, it creates bonds. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize in the modern world, that when we have sexual connection with someone, we are actually becoming connected with them. And there is evidence to say that you can be connected with someone that you're intimate with for at least 3 years after you've disconnected with them. So that's quite a long time to have somebody else's energy rolling around in your energy field. If it's problematic, if it's not problematic, that's fine. But you can also see why, if you were coming into contact with your twin, why you wouldn't want to necessarily have another energy around you in your space while that's happening. On the twin flame path, you might also find that being with others, being having other intimate relationships, maybe dating people or, trying to look for that connection in others may feel kind of empty. It may even be draining, just so you know. And it's not because it's wrong, there isn't a moral thing here, but it's because your soul knows the deeper connection you're seeking. And often, if we go with a lower vibration, it begins to pull us down to that vibration and it's tiring. And that's not including all of the stuff that's gone on around the feminine being used as a kind of dumping ground for masculine tension or masculine frustration or emotions that they can't deal with or can't handle, which they often use sex with a woman to change that vibration. And the woman has to deal with that. They have to alchemize all of that in their own bodies and work through it in their womb space. We've got to remember here that the womb is a portal to the divine. It's actually, when we're talking about a temple, that's what we're talking about. So it really depends on what level you're seeing intimacy being, whether it's just a physical activity or if it is a weaving together of soul connection. So, what matters most here is whether or not you feel comfortable with it. And if you're living with integrity with yourself, are you honoring your heart space? And a lot of people have intimacy now with no connection in the heart. They don't feel that connection in the heart. And that's up to you if that's how you want to be. And that's definitely how our society is going. So maybe that connection just isn't there for you. But I would also say here that if you're not listening to your heart, you're also not listening to your soul. And if you want to be connected to all the different parts of yourself and have receptivity to every part of yourself, then if you're cutting off on any level, actually it's not a healthy picture. It's not going to lead you into wholeness. And you won't be completely aware of what your body is telling you, whether it feels good about a union with someone or not good, whether that's your twin or not your twin. And at the moment, I notice with beautiful feminines is that some of them have very strong reactions against having casual intimacy with people, yet they don't listen to that. We have we have a kind of epidemic of things like thrush in our societies. Now, if you're telling me that's just a cup of cells that are, creating a sort of thrushy substance in the body, fair enough. But actually, if you begin to look at the energetics of some of these problems, it's often your body trying to express an imbalance, that it doesn't like something or it doesn't, feel good about something or it feels invaded by something. So, or there's emotions there which are not completely worked through or trauma that can be there. So anything that we can do to clear up these pathways is going to help any process, because obviously the twin flame separation phase is about healing your wounding. And healing your wounding in the sacral chakra is the same as healing the wounding in the heart, in the mind, in the emotions. So, to answer your question, I have seen that there usually is a celibacy period for both twins before they come into union. But I'm not saying that you need to stay celibate in order for your twin to come back into connection with you. What you really need to do is have your authenticity, to have your self-love, to have your alignment with your truth. Because, yes, there are some amazing experiences with soulmates and other people, if you're doing tantric work, where it does help you to heal wounds. It does help you to come in more alignment, even if they're not your twin. So, really, it's about using your instrument to really know and trust what you need for your journey. If anything is a kind of flippant, mindless activity, or it's a kind of way of escaping reality or a way of getting a quick fix or a quick hit or whatever it is you might feel you need, then usually that's showing that we're kind of going off the path of internal truth and authenticity. And so it might look different for different people. And so I want you to really trust your journey here. Trust that you are coming into more connection with yourself, more alignment with yourself. And this is not a process where you're denying anything about yourself, but remembering who you really are and what you need. Sexual power, tantric power, is very, very powerful. It's one of the most powerful things we can have access to. It's a creative power. It brings in new life, it brings in new energy, new life, and it's the spark of creative power. If you're using that in all different ways with people who you may not necessarily know very well or trust. And this is not a moralistic thing, it's just a very factual kind of understanding that if you use that kind of power in the wrong way, then we're going to have problems from it. The instrument in the twin flame between you and your twin is there is a high degree of sensitivity. So often, if someone is coming into your twin flame's energy field for intimacy, you might feel it. And in the same way, they might feel it if you're doing the same. And this will not force union. I mean, some people do this like, if I make my twin jealous, maybe they're coming quicker. This will not help. In fact, if anything, it creates more barriers to coming into authentic union with one another. And often there can be a lot of guilt and shame also generated from this. Not because what you've done should make you feel guilty or shameful. It's not about that. It's more like if it's in your energy system between you and your twin, it will come up because you'll have to clear through anything that is creating blocks between you and them for union. And the reality is, there is so much light generated by you and your twin coming together that it will push out and push to the surface anything that's been buried. And so, this video and if this message resonated with you, or maybe you have a different viewpoint, maybe you want to share it in the comments. But I just know personally for me, it would be kind of weird if you're going through all this journey and you didn't want to wait for your twin. I guess we're not all the same this way, but it wouldn't make sense to me personally not to do that. But then other people have very different needs and viewpoints on this. So, if you want to comment on this video, I'd love to hear from you. It was really good to hear other people's viewpoints and what they need, and to really stand in your power and have a lot of clarity about where you feel you need to be on this line. And if it has helped, let me know. I'd love to hear that. And if you want to come for a twin flame clarity session, then come to my link tree and have a look and sign up.